playing with the Casinos, we recorded several songs. And after that, you know, Ralph did call me up, and he kept asking me, why don't you join the band? And eventually he convinced me, and I'll tell you what, Casino...
he stole you.
Yeah, Cecilio Garza was not a happy person.
He was not a happy camper.
No.
Well, yeah, a listener had requested, Ya Llegó Tu Poderoso. Were you on that one?
Yes, we did un popurrí.
Ah, okay, you got you. Yeah. I remember that now. That's on it, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So, man, tell me your thoughts about our good buddy, man, Mr. Ralph Marron.
Well, I'll tell you what, he was a very good friend. As a matter of fact, having played with him for over 26 years, a lot of people, when we were singing, used to think that he and I were brothers. They couldn't believe that Mike and he were brothers.
Yeah, because they were arguing to them.
But we became family members. He adopted us, so to speak, and we attended all family functions. Just for 25 years, it was fantastic.
It's still fantastic, man. You'll never lose a memory. Just like I was telling Luis or somebody in the house here earlier, that we always talk about our friends that have passed away. Well, he was my friend, or he was my... Hell no, he's still my friend. He'll always be your friend, right?
You got that right.
Amen. And he has a certain place in your heart for sure, and he has a certain place in my heart. And I know that there's a lot more musicians, just you guys. The front room is full right now of people that are here because they love his musical talents, you know, and that kind of stuff. And up next we have, what's the name of the song? You wrote this, right?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I wrote it for my wife for our 25th wedding anniversary, which Ralph showed up in Lubbock to help me out, and we put on a show that night. Mm-hmm. And I wrote this song for my wife, and Ralph did participate. As a matter of fact, I sang that song to my wife in front of all these people on my knees. Oh, man. Knowing you probably cried, but that's all right. That's cool like that. That's cool like that. Anyway, man, thank you so much for being here, being part of this, man. Not a problem, man.
You're my bud. You'll always be my bud, and so will Ralph. Mr. Benito Juárez.
Eres por cierto la más consentida, la más hermosa mujer en la vida para mí. Por eso vengo a pedirte tu mano para ofrecerte este vestido blanco y ser feliz en la luna de miel. Con cada paso que doy en mi vida, todo dispuesto y placer, noche y día es para ti. Siempre feliz y contento a tu lado, sueño completo que se ha realizado, pasar mi vida tan cerca de ti. Ante de Dios, consejo de matrimonio, declaro hoy la puerta de mi amor, la bendición de Dios y nuestros padres nos dan la llave para siempre ser feliz. Todo dispuesto y placer, noche y día es para ti. Siempre feliz y contento a tu lado, sueño completo que se ha realizado, pasar mi vida tan cerca de ti. Ante de Dios, consejo de matrimonio, declaro hoy la puerta de mi amor, la bendición de Dios y nuestros padres nos Salaya para siempre ser feliz.
Absolutely. Miss Benita Juarez did that one. Please tell the people who you are and how much noise you made at the house when you were beating on the pots and pans and all that stuff. Would you please tell them all that stuff?
Sure. My name is Victor Rodriguez. I'm Ralph Marron's brother-in-law, and I'm a drummer. And yeah, I made a lot of noise with that band in Mike's garage. Yeah, so I was very young at the time, you know.
Oh, you blame it on being young, huh?
Yeah, young and dumb, and you know the rest. So.
Okay, well, no, let's not go there because we could really talk about that for sure. Tell me how well, I know you're brother-in-law, okay. But were you a brother-in-law when you first started with the Saints and Sinners?
No, actually, I was only 17 years old, and
he stole you too, huh?
Well, actually, Mike, my brother-in-law, came to my house, and I was at home, and my parents were there too. And there was a knock on the door. I was looking outside. I said, "Who the heck is this?" Mm-hmm. And my parents didn't know either, so we went to the door. He introduced himself, and I said, "Okay." And he told me, "You're a drummer, I heard." I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "My brother Ralph heard you played very well, so I want to know if you want to audition for our band." I said, "Okay." So I had to get a permission slip signed by my parents. So I was only 17. I'm just kidding. No,
no, they just they needed them to sign a slip saying that they'll keep you.
They want to know how much I'll be making.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Contribute to the house. But
amen. Yeah.
Anyway, I went to audition with Mike and Roy Paramo. It was in Roy's garage, and they told me to play a few tunes, and I did, and bang, you know, I'm a saint sinner.
Are you a saint or a sinner?
Well, I started off I started out as a saint.
I see.
And then eventually I went.
You hang around with Ralph long enough for sure. I know.
Yeah, I stayed there for a very long time.
Too long.
The dark side, you know.
I know.
And then I came back.
And then you had to marry a Marron, right?
Well, actually, that's another story because my wife, which is Rosie, which is their sister, she was one of the singers for the band.
Yeah.
And there's many stories that I fell in love with her. No, it's the other way around.
Okay.
Anyway.
She loved your talented drummer.
She loved my chops.
Yeah, so. I know. We could write a book about that for sure.
Yeah, that's another story.
We're not talking about looks here. We're talking about drum skills, right?
Yes.
And how you handle your hands, the italicos, right?
Yeah, fingers and all that, yeah.
Well, tell me, of all the stories that you can say, tell me one that you can say in front of everybody where it won't be rude, crude, and socially unacceptable. Sure. Something that happened with regard to Ralph and the band, and not that he and Mike were fighting, because we already know that.
No, they were cool. Anyway, one night when I wasn't playing in the band, my wife and I went to go listen to Ralph and Mike at a certain gig, and we were sitting down, and Gracie, his wife, was sitting with us. And Ralph, he had a certain way of playing. He's playing.
Oh, yeah.
He's tapping his foot and doing all.
I know his sons, and man, they sure made a mess of that, didn't they? They sure did. Talked about him bad.
You're right.
He'd come back to haunt him after listening to that.
Yeah, I can still vision Ralph doing that. Yeah. But anyway, he's singing and playing, and he's like in the distance, and Gracie's looking at him, and she says, "Wow, he sounds so much like Ram Herrera."
Oh no!
And I said. Okay, I kept my thoughts to myself. So anyway, Ralph, they take their break. They come off the stage. They come sit down. And I'm looking at Ralph. I said, "Ralph, Gracie, man, she gave you the ultimate compliment. She said you sounded just like Ram Herrera." But right away I said, "Wait a minute. You can't use Ram. That's already used."
Yes, for sure.
And right away I thought of another one. Oh, I know. We'll call you Spam. Spam. Ralph broke out into a laugh. Ralph was so easy to go on. He was, but it was all in fun.
Yeah, so I didn't know that one. I'd call him Spam because I'm a Spam eater. But I'll say it in public. What the hell? These kids don't know any better. Hell, what the hell? So he was Spam, man.
Yes.
Why didn't I know about that, man? I'd have ripped him good. Yeah. I'd have told him I'd made some Spam tamales.
Yeah, Ralph was a good guy. He's, like I said, his sense of humor was.
Well, that's great, man. Look, I want to thank you for coming in here and sharing a few of your thoughts with you. Is there something you want to say to Gracie and the family? I know they're listening.
Gracie, I just wanted to say that on behalf of my family, Rosie and my girls, that we miss Ralph. We love him, and he was a great brother-in-law, true brother. he was more than a brother-in-law.